the answer to your problems. I hope that you're beginning to see the common factor and the difference between the average Joe and the people that are successful, right? This is a lecture on success and how to be successful, right? We asked the question in the beginning, how to become successful. So have you come up with the answer? If not, that's exactly why most people don't become successful. So let me rewrite the question for you to help you out. So our first question was how to become successful, right? If we mix it up and rewrite it, what needs to change in your life in order for you to become successful? Ask yourself the question, what needs to change in my life in order for me to become successful? And of course, the answer is not, I have to quit my job, or I have to stop doing something external, right? The answer is you will have to change. You and only you are the reason for why your life is the way it is. I know it's a hard thing to swallow, but if you take the time and be honest, it's just as simple as that. You are the problem. You need to change. Not your mom or your wife or your kids or your friends. You need to change. Hopefully, if you change, hopefully all that external things will change along with you, right? So most people are not so fond of telling them that they are the problem. And all along, the answer was right in front of their mirror. Right? People love to make excuses. That's just how human beings are. We love to make excuses for not doing something. So here's an example. Is it your fault or is it my fault that I'm bad at math? Of course it's your fault that you're bad at math, right? Why is that? Because you've never tried. So I'm not talking about sitting in class for 10 years with the numbers turning around in your head. That's not trying. I know that some of you are like, I just don't get it. Math is not my thing. I've been to school. I've been in school for 10, 15 years. I've tried. I don't get math. It's a brain thing. It's just poor excuses for why you shouldn't try your best, right? And of course, again, I'm not talking about people that actually are mentally unable to study or learn math, right? Of course, there's this dyslexia and whatever the lexia of numbers is, right? I'm talking about you. I'm talking about the average man. The average person spends 10, 15 years in school and he doesn't even try, right? He goes there because he has to. It's the law, right? And if you're honest, you've never tried. I mean, really tried, right? You decided a long time ago that you suck, quote unquote, at math and you don't want to learn it. So who's to blame for that? Right? So I know many of you are just not in agreement with me on this subject, but I'm telling you, if you think back to your early years and your school years, you know I'm right? Maybe the first 2 years you got it, you got math, but then when the algebra and stuff started to come in, you just, that's way too much, and then you just stopped trying, right? And that's what's wrong with this world. People just stop trying. And I'm talking about real try. I'm not talking about just sitting, looking at the board, trying to figure it out, right? If you really wanted to learn something, you would find a way to make it happen. You would study for 10 hours a day, you would have a tutor, all your friends that are good, quote unquote, at math, you would let them help you, right? I'm sure that none of you have done those things, right? But for the sake of being civil, I will not be taking examples that most would consider rude, right? So the math example, if you can imagine, you're not in agreement with me on that one. I have others that are just basically rude. So what I'm saying is that 95% of things that are wrong in your life, it's your fault. We have the opportunity, and the basic human thing is that we have the power to choose, right? And you can choose to sit by your computer and just disagree, right? Thinking that I'm full of it, and well, that's your choice. Of course it is. And if you do, feel free to do so. That's fine. That's fine by me. But just like everything you choose in life right now, I'm telling you, until you admit yourself that you're not giving your life the 110% effort that it deserves, you will keep walking up to your boring job. Keep waking up to your boring 9 to 5 job. Coming home, buying those get rich quick schemes online, just wasting away with all your ideas and desires, slowly but surely, and making your way into the graveyard with all those other people. Right? You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you can do something great. Just like I've stated before, if you don't believe it, who the hell is going to believe it? No one. Right? You need to listen, and you need to have the balls to make something happen for yourself. Take the chance. Right? If you can't do it for you, at least do it for your wife, kids, brothers, sisters, whatever, your family. Right? And stop with does this come with a 30-day guarantee? Right? So you will need a guaranteed system to make money overnight, right? Or else I want my money back, right? You don't need a guarantee from no one. You've got yourself. When you get to the place where you yourself are giving other people 30-day guarantees, right? Like this course, I will give you your money back if you don't learn anything. That's my word. I will have a guaranteed money back policy, right? But when you get to that place, when you are giving the 30-day guarantees, because you know that you have something to say or sell or teach or write or whatever, then that's the place that you will start to feel successful. But here's one thing I like to address. I know we've covered so far the financial aspect of things, but please don't make the mistake of thinking that success is only measured in money, right? So what successful people can we mention that didn't have a lot of money? We have Mother Teresa, and we have Gandhi, and we have many others. right? These are people that made and set a mark to the world. They didn't have a lot of money, right? So would you consider Mother Teresa successful, as a successful person? Of course you are. If you don't, then that's your problem, right? So don't measure your current situation by the money you have, right? If you, for example, we have the Christmas coming up next month. If you're the type of person that goes to the soup kitchen or a homeless shelter just to help out around the holidays, I'm going to tell you that you are a successful person, right? So it's not only just about the money, always. You have to be willing to give back, do something for your community, do something for other people, right? Don't get just don't sit in your chair counting your money, right? That's just an awful thing to do, right? We have millions and millions of people out there that have absolutely nothing, and I don't care if you have $5 in your bank account. There are people that are far worse off than you are, right? You may not have it great, but you have to admit there are people in this world that have it worse than you have it, right? So if you if you make if you made $10 this week, right? Now we're talking again about the financial things, right? If you made $10 this week, try to make $12 the next week, right? There you have another example of success, right? You have a successful uh, when you help other people and for example go to the shelter and help people, you have some success in your heart and your mind, right? Because you're doing good for other people. When you make $10 this week and $12 the next week, you have success financially. I don't give a ass about if it's only $2, man. It's success. It's more than you had, right? So stop thinking that only the millionaires are successful. I'm gonna tell you that most millionaires are arrogant assholes that don't give a nothing about no one, right? Not all, but some, right? Of course they're successful when it comes to financials, but looking at their lives, uh, when they leave this earth, yep, they may have more money than you and me, but what's the point of living if you can't be happy, right? So I just read an article about Steve Jobs' last words, and he admits that he was so focused on making money, right, being successful, quote unquote, that he oftentimes forgot about the people that loved him. He drove away people that actually cared for him, right? And what's the point? There was no point. Yeah, he has a lot of money, but that's not always what it's all about. So you have to take both poles. Yeah, it's of course it's great to be successful in the financial state of life, but you have to also be happy, right? It's a quote that I don't remember who said it. Stated, "I've been poor and I've been rich. Being rich is a little better, right, than being poor. But you have plenty of poor people out there that are much more happy than some of those rich guys all over the world, right? So stop thinking that only the millionaires are successful. Stop preparing yourself to those millionaires. You don't know if they're happy, right? They may have a lot of money, but who knows if they're happy, right? So and stop also blaming other people and blaming those millionaires, right? Because you can't do it, because they control everything and they have made all the money in the world and there's nothing left. That's the stupidest thing I've heard, right? When you give, I will give you a simple advice. Give it being whatever you want, right? Give it 110% or don't do it at all. Simple. You can sit on the couch and actually think, am I going to give this thing 110%, right? If the answer is no, then just turn back the TV on or take a nap. And don't do it, right? So simple. So, but if your answer is yes, I am willing to give it 110%, I will commit to this, then that's a whole nother thing. So I know that some of the things I've said are hard to hear, right? And some of you are just, nope, that's not me. There must be another reason for my unsuccessful life. And I'm here to tell you there is no other reason. But you're, of course, free to believe whatever you want. But ask yourself the question, have I been doing everything that I can, right? And has what I've been doing so far worked for me? So everything you've been doing up to this point, has that been working for you? If not, right, take a step to actually admit that you are the problem, right? So if that answer to the question is 110% yes, turn off the TV, stop sleeping in, right? Stop with the partying, give yourself a break, right? The break you know that you deserve. And I will guarantee, right? I am guaranteeing twice in one lecture, I will guarantee that you will be a successful person.